So just like when I'm using any other program, when I'm ready to give students feedback, I could go ahead and put the feedback as an embedded comment. I could add it right to the Word document. Or the value of using a text expander program is that it actually works in any application. So it would work in your email, it would work directly in your LMS, perhaps the LMS gradebook or the discussion threads. But you're not limited to just the Microsoft products. But for now, let's imagine that I'm grading a student's paper and I realize that they're not citing what they need to be citing. So I might come up and I might say new comment, and imagine that I type some guideline. This one happened to be something about DOIs, so it's not necessarily relevant to this context, but pretend that that's a good piece of feedback that I would want to give more than one student. If I was going to use PhraseExpress, and it operates like most text expanders, I would highlight and copy whatever it is I'm interested in saving. Then I would go down and say, what are my icons? And this little exclamation point is the PhraseExpress icon. And I would say I've got a new phrase. And it pops up and it says, what is your phrase? It automatically grabbed what I just had there and it called it its description. And then it gives me an option. Do you want it to be a hotkey? So I could say, I just want it to be Shift and then I type in whatever it is. I could say Control and type in Alt, whatever it is. I could make it a hotkey, or I can do auto text. For me, I like using auto text. So now I would give this one some sort of code. So I might have decided that all of my codes start with an underscore APA DOI, and I'll just call it APA DOI. And then I get options. When do we want this to put it in? And I can say I want it to go immediately. I can say after, some sort of default, after manual confirmation. I'm just going to say I want it to go in immediately. And then you even get options whether you want to exclude it, whether you want it to apply everywhere, and then how you want to save that information. I'm just going to leave the rest of this the same. And then I'd say, okay. So now, and then PhraseExpress gives me a pop-up window telling me that I've just saved a new phrase. So if I was in another student's paper, and let's say again, I wanted to tell them something about the DOI. Let's say that we were, down looking for references, and I'm like, you need your DOI. So let's say right here that I went, oh goodness, you don't have your DOI. Now all I would need to do is type that information in, underscore APA DOI, and it automatically is going to pop that in for me. So in terms of functionality, it works a lot like Microsoft AutoCorrect, but it's a lot more flexible because you can use it in any kind of a program. You're not limited to the Microsoft, and you aren't limited by the number of characters that you can use for that. So it's just a little more flexible and it gives you a few more options.